Hi everyone, this is Lucky. I'm here today with Bhabha and we are doing chapter 9, which is manipulating HTML elements with JavaScript. I'll be driving and she'll be navigating. The chapter project for chapter 9 required us to follow 4 steps, the first of which was to select the element with the class output. And as you can see here, I created a variable called output and I used the pre-selector method of the document object to get whatever has the class of output. And then in the second instruction, we had to create another JavaScript object called mainList and select only the UL tag unordered list that is within the output element and update the ID of that unordered list tag to main list. So I did a similar thing to the first instruction. I created a main list variable and then I just took the output, which is this, and I used the pre-selector method to get anything that has the tag UL. And then the third instruction asked us to search for the tag name of each div. And oh, sorry, we had to update the ID of the main list to main list. So that's what I did here. I used the ID property and I gave it the string of main list to update its ID. So moving on to the third instruction, we had to search for the tag name for each div and output them into the console as an array. So that's what I did here. I created a variable called div and I used the pre-selector all method this time to get everything that has the value of that has the tag name of div. And then I created an empty array and then I created a for loop to push everything that I selected from here into this new array. And then if I just open up my console, you can see we have an array of 3 elements and it's the first div, second div and the third div. So for the last instruction, we had to use a for loop to set the ID of each div tags to an ID with a numeric value of the order they appear within output. Still within the loop, we had to alternate the color of the contents of each element in output to be red or blue. So we had to do 2 things: update the IDs and update the colors. So that's what I did here. I created a for loop, and the first thing that I did is I went back to this to these divs that I selected using the pre-selector all method, and I went for the ID property and I updated it to become to be ID equals to whatever I is. When it first starts, going to be 0 plus 1, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3 and so on. And then to alternate the colors between red and blue, I just used an if statement to say that if the remainder of if I is divisible by 2 and the remainder is 0, then we turn the color into red, or else we turn the color, we go into the style attribute, the color property, and we turn it into blue. And what that gives us is our HTML document that has alternating colors. Each div has alternating colors, and we can show this here. As you can see, the first div has an ID of 1 and a color of blue, and then the second div has an ID of 2 and a color of red, and then the third div has a ID of 3 and a color of blue. So that's all from chapter 9. In summary, what we did is we looked at the basics of HTML, and then we had a look at the document object model, and we had a look at elements and their tags. And elements have a tag that specifies the type of element that they are, and they can have attributes that alter the element or add some metadata to the element, and these attributes can be used by JavaScript as we've displayed here. We then had a look at the BOM in this chapter, which is the Baba, can you please remind me what BOM is?
It's the browser object model.
Thank you. We had a look at the browser object model, which represents the window of the browser that is being used for the web page and contains other objects such as history, location, and navigator, and document objects. So the document object is referred to as the DOM, as we've said so far, and This is what we'll be most likely working with going forward, and this document contains the HTML elements of the web page as we've seen. So that was Lucky, and this was chapter 9. Thank you.